So eto nga, mainit na talakayan pa rin mga kababayan sa Senado, ultimo sa House, okay?
Gangster, you know, we do that better than anybody. I bet you got it twisted, you don't know who to trust. So many player hating niggas trying to sound like us. Say they ready for the front, but I don't think they know it. Straight to the depths of hell is where them cowards going. Well, all you still down, nigga, holler when you see me. And let these devils be sorry for the day they finally free me. I got a caravan of niggas every time we ride, hitting motherfuckers up when we pass by. Until I die, live the life of a boss player. Cause even when I'm high, fuck with me and get crossed later.
So eto mga mga kababayan, tungayan po natin itong kung ano yung pinupunto dito. Okay, let's all watch this.
Mr. Ping Lacson, Mr. President, and to continue with the interpellation, Mr. President, I move that we recognize the distinguished gentleman from Tarlac, Senator Bam Aquino, and for our dear colleague, Senator Ping Lacson, to continue with the interpellation. So move, Mr. President.
Senator Lacson is recognized and he has the floor. And if he gives leave, Senator Bam Aquino may proceed for his interjections and interpellation.
Would the good gentleman from Cavite yield to a few questions?
Certainly, to the father of the Free Tertiary Education Act, the distinguished gentleman from Tarlac.
Maraming salamat, Mr. President. Mr. President, magkatabi po tayo kanina when we asked the question to Secretary Pangandaman kung magkano ba yung flood control for 2026. At Mr. President, do you remember her answer? Kung magkano po yung nasabi niya?
I think I left the room, Mr. President.
Mr. President, ang nasabi po niya, 275 billion pesos.
275 billion.
For 2026.
That's huge, Mr. President.
Napakalaki, Mr. President. And itong 275 billion po, according to former Secretary Bonoan, during the previous Blue Ribbon Committee hearing, nakadivide daw po ito equally among all legislative districts. And I pose the question, Mr. President, I'd like to know your comment also. Tama ba na i-divide na lang yung flood control equally to all legislative district, whether there is flooding or no flooding, Mr. President?
If you're asking my opinion, it should be equitable and should be on need basis.
What do you mean by need basis, Mr. President?
Need basis, if the legislative district is flood prone or susceptible to, say, it's a low-lying area, then that should be given priority or even a bigger amount, Mr. President.
Kanina po, Mr. President, ang mungkahi ko po sa mga cabinet members earlier ay sana balikan nila tayo before December ng isang flood control budget na talagang may pagmamalaki at talagang kayang tayuan ng kanilang mga ahensya. Meaning, dapat po nakabase na ito sa mga lugar na talagang flood prone. And Mr. President, there was also one suggestion na gamitin natin yung Project NOAA kung ano ba yung mga lugar na talagang flood prone at sana dun mapunta yung flood control budget na sana maibago pa ng ating executive department, Mr. President.
Yeah, I fully agree, Mr. President. And besides, as per our records, marami yung naka-PISARO, meaning for issuance of SARO or aka FLR.
Yes.
Winidal na Malacanang, I think nasa mga 168 billion yon on top of the items vetoed by the President. Ito yung mga insertions na ginawa sa House of Representatives at saka sa BICAM. So, ang total, nasa mga 190 plus billion pesos pa.
And that is for 2025, Mr. President?
That's for 2025, correct.
Mr. President, kapag hindi po ito magamit in the next few months, ano pong pwedeng gawin sa 190 billion po na ito?
Well, pag hindi po nagamit, papasok na sa savings. No, nandiyan sa yung Supreme Court ruling, meron silang tinatawag na definition of savings, meaning hindi nagamit o kaya nakatipid sa paggamit or some other requirements para ma-declare as savings.
And Mr. President, it is the executive who can determine what projects need to be enhanced. Is that correct, Mr. President?
That is correct, Mr. President. Or the President may pull out some appropriations under the unprogrammed fund, under the special purpose fund, to augment the budget of some items under the regular budget.
So,
kung kailangan.
so Mr. President, merong 190 billion for 2025 na hindi pa nagagalaw. And
Dahil naka for later release or what they call now as PISARO,
and
for issuance of SARO.
And I'm sure, Mr. President, ngayon na merong flood control issue, magandang aralin talaga kung dapat ba talagang magamit ang perang yan dun sa lugar na nakalagay kung saan siya gagamitin, Mr. President.
Well, as suggested by our own colleague here, the former DPWH Secretary, mas maganda meron talaga master plan. No? Dapat integrated, coordinated, at saka manggagaling sa scientifically based or science-based ang pagdetermine kung saan pwedeng dalhin yung mga budget for flood control projects.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to remind the body and our colleagues here, back in 2017, nung una pong pinag-uusapan yung libreng kolehiyo, the good gentleman from Cavite found some budget, no, with Senator Legarda, who was the chairman at that time of Finance. May nahanap po kayo?
8 billion pesos.
8 billion at yun po yung naging seed money natin para sa unang taon ng libreng kolehiyo. Do you remember that, Mr. President?
I remember that, and that triggered the early passage of the Pre-Tertiary Education Act.
Yes, Mr.
Kasi meron
President.
ng budget for the succeeding year. All we needed to do was to pass the law.
Yes, Mr. President. So, nagka-timing tayo dun, Mr. President. May alokasyon, napasa yung batas. Maybe, Mr. President, for this year, because we know that the needs for education are quite grave again, kung yung flood control budget po ay, if it will be amended or if it will be slashed, kung may makuha po tayong pondo doon, baka, Mr. President, like what we did before, we can reallocate these funds for education, Mr. President.
Kung ako po yung tatanungin ninyo, I will agree with you, pero hindi naman ako siga-siga dito, Mr. President. So, 24 tayong siga, kausapin natin lahat.
Yes, Mr. President. Our Chairman of Finance, Mr. President, is extremely supportive. At ito na po siguro yung aming unang pasabi sa mga kasama po natin. Kung mababago po ang flood control budget, mababawasan o mazizero, sana po mapunta yung budget na yan sa talagang pangailangan ng taong bayan, gaya ng edukasyon.
I, for one, as a member of the Finance Committee, Mr. Chairman, and a member of this August body, I will support your proposal.
Thank you, Mr. President. That's all, Mr. President. Maraming salamat po.
Mr. President, the next to interpolate, Mr. President, is the gentleman from Isabela and the Davao region, no other than Senator Raffy Tulfo. I move that he be recognized, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Raffy Tulfo is recognized.
First of all, I would like to commend Senator Ping Lacson dun sa ginawa niyang comprehensive research sa flood control. Kahanga-hanga nga at in-depth talaga at marami tayong natutunan because of that. Meron akong few questions kay Senator Ping. Senator Ping, kasi kanina medyo kinapos ako sa oras sa Blue Ribbon. Would you support na kailangan lahat ng mga contractors and DPWH officials, especially yung pinagdududahan na involved sa anomaly, na dapat makita natin yung kanilang ITR para pagbanggain natin yung kanilang mga possession tulad ng Diskaya na meron 28 luxury vehicles, kung yung ba'y babangga doon sa ITR na binabayaran nila?
I agree, Mr. President. In fact, I was informed by the minority leader that she was already served the LOA by the BIR commissioner himself, Commissioner Lumagi. So that could start the ball rolling in an investigation to be conducted by the Bureau of Internal Revenue, no less.
Pero kanina, Mr. President, I was informed by one of the personnel sa BIR, sabi ang bigyan lang daw ng LOA, letter of authority, ay yung company ni Diskaya. So ang gusto ko sana, mismong si Diskaya mismo, yung Diskaya mag-asawa, mabigyan ng LOA na para makapag-explain. And also, do you support, Mr. President, na hindi dapat abutin ng buwan o taon bago lumabas yung resulta ng LOA?
Yes, I agree, Mr. President. I'm not privy to because it was just relayed to me by Senator Soto. Maybe he can share what he knows firsthand.
And also, siguro, Mr. President, tulad sinabi ni Senator Soto kanina na nagustuhan ko ngayon dahil it happens na yung 28 luxury vehicles na binili ng mga Diskaya ay mula sa dalawang dealer mula sa dalawang car dealership na pasimuno sa smuggling ng mga sasakyan. In fact, yung dealership daw na yon ay involved doon sa pagpasok ng Bugatti na ako po nag-expose na hindi nakapagbayad ng tamang tax kaya nahila. So maybe doon sa 28 luxury vehicles, baka mahila natin lahat yun, baka hindi nagbayad ng tax yun. Anomalous na yung pagkaroon nila ng ganong karaming pera, pati ba naman doon sa pagbayad ng taxes sa mga sakyan, anomalous pa rin. So do you agree, Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. President. By the way, I stand corrected and like to correct and put on record yung response ko kanina sa distinguished gentleman from Tarlac. Yung nabito ni Presidente, 26 billion. Ito yung program under the DPWH budget and another 168 billion under the unprogrammed. Yung Pizarro, malaki po ito, 757.3 billion pesos. So, ganun kalaki yung naiwan sa budget kasi naka-hinold na Malacanang ang release ng SARO.
And last question, Mr. President. Sa records po ng DPWH, 103 contractors na flag down nila na hindi tama yung ginagawa, meaning na blacklist. But out of those 103, isa lamang doon, Mr. President, ang sa flood control. Do you agree na dapat imbestigahan din ang DPWH? Bakit isa lang ang flood control doon na flag down na bilang tawag na blacklisted? Di ba dapat mas marami dapat doon ang flood control projects?
Well, all I can say, Mr. President, is that the President made a very good choice in the person of Secretary Vince Dizon. And I think being an action man, he will initiate a comprehensive and extensive investigation on the anomalies involving flood control projects. In fact, I heard that he already ordered the submission of courtesy resignations of all the officials, undersecretaries and below. And that's, I think, a good start.
And you did mention about Secretary Vince, Mr. President, and I do agree with you, Senator Lacson, of course, with the President of appointing him, because for me, he is the perfect person for that position. I only know him for a short time, it is a short stint bilang Secretary ng Public Services, me bilang Chairman ng Public Services. He's done a lot. Marami po siyang mga nagawa, mabusisi siya. He does a lot of inspections. In fact, he's very strict with his people. He monitors his people very well. So I think he fits for that position. Do you agree, Mr. President?
Yes, I agree, Mr. President. As a matter of fact, I sent to him already an advance information through one of his prospective staff, who used to work under me sa PNP. I gave him the information on at least 2 district engineers, and a minor functionary sa Bulacan who are big-time gamblers in one of the casinos here. And the 2 of them, as per my information, used aliases. They hid their true identities, gumamit ng fictitious name, and ang recorded losses. This is just informal and official, but I intend to get the official record. Yung isa po natalo ng 300 million, yung isa more than 300 million. And these are salary grade 19 officials, being district engineer, and the other one is even occupying a lower position. So you can just imagine the enormity of the corruption that's going on. This is only in Bulacan, Mr. President. I got hold of the aliases that they used. So it will be easier for the concerned authorities to really identify or get all the records of their winnings and losses.
And it's very easy, Mr. President, kasi all we need to do is call the attention of Soler, Okada, and all other casinos para makita yung labas-pasok nitong mga nagsusugal ng mga DPWH officials, Mr. President.
Yeah, that's what I did, Mr. President. I already wrote Chairman Altenco to coordinate or direct the different casinos to provide the information. I gave him all the necessary information to identify or to point to the DPWH officials through their aliases. And by the way, there's this Memorandum Circular number 6, issued way back in 2016, na pinagbabawal na mahigpit ang paglalaro sa casino ng lahat ng government officials. Yung sinasabi rito, connected directly with the operation of the government or any of its agencies. Aside from a possible, malit lang pong penalty rito, yung violation of Article 178 of the Revised Penal Code, using fictitious name and concealing true name, mababa ang penalty. Arresto mayor and a fine not to exceed 100,000 pesos. Pero at least, dito kung sa violation naman ng RA 6713, Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards of Government Officials and Employees, medyo mataas yung penalty. Abot siya ng hanggang 5 years imprisonment, and ang fine nasa mga 5,000. And perpetual disqualification. Possible perpetual disqualification from holding public office.
And lastly, Mr. President, last na. Thank you, Mr. President. That's all. And I congratulate you, Senator Ping Lacson. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much to the gentleman from Isabela.
What is the pleasure of Senator Zubiri?
Yes, Mr. President, just to interject, with that revelation, may we ask if the Blue Ribbon Committee, which is already conducting the investigation, subpoena the CCTV as well as the pertinent documents that that fellow used in their gambling activities?
If the chair may, what I would want to interject, I asked the question earlier during the Blue Ribbon Committee, and former DE Henry Alcantara even admitted of their casino visits, no, with Bryce Hernandez and others, and we likewise requested Soler North to provide the CCTV so that we can identify if indeed they are going there.
Yes, because that's unexplained wealth, Mr. President. Definitely, if they lose 300 million, where did they get the 300 million from?
From
Thank you,
flood control, Mr. President.
Exactly. But my point being is, kung may pera silang ganyan, talagang dapat mailabas ng agency yan, a proper agency concerned. And most especially, the gambling casino. If it's subpoenaed, they're no longer, I think, covered by the Privacy Act. If it's subpoenaed by the Blue Ribbon, pwede na makuha ang dokumento, yung video na yan, Mr. President. Thank you. Thank you.
Unfortunately, Mr. President, ang lifespan ng CCTV footages, 1 month lang. So kung naglaro sila more than a month ago, baka wala na, nakabura na yon.
Mr. President.
Yes, the majority leader recognized.
Yes, Mr. President, just to confirm the information given by Senator Lacson to Senator Rafi Tulfo earlier, I was just on the phone with the BIR Commissioner Jun Lumagi, and the additional LOA that they had given Mrs. Diskaya earlier was an additional for 2019 and 2024 that they refused to receive before. And the 2020 up to the 2023 was already served, ongoing, and the for the 9 companies, but for the individual herself, yes, there is an ongoing investigation already and an LOA.
So that should address the concern raised by Senator Tulfo, Mr. President.
Thank you. Mr. President, next to interpolate is the gentleman from Nueva Ecija and Camarines Norte, Senator Robin Hood Padilla. I move that he be recognized, Mr. President.
Senator Robin Hood Padilla is recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo, at sa ating pinunong mayorya. Meron lang po ako mga konting katanungan.
Willingly to the distinguished gentleman who played my role sa 10,000 hours.
Isang karangalan po at nakapagbigay po sa akin ng Grand Slam. Naniniwala po ba kayo, Ginoong Pangulo, na ang AFP sa ngayon ang may pinakamataas na trust rating? Ang Armed Forces of the Philippines po?
I have no personal knowledge, but if you say so, Mr. President, I believe you.
Opo. Bilang kayo po ay dati na nasa Philippine Military Academy at kayo po ay nagserbisyo sa bayan, naniniwala din po ba kayo na isa sa pinakamatapat ang ating Armed Forces of the Philippines?
Tama po yun. Kasi yung kanilang oath, sinabi nila talaga, ipagtatanggol nila ang watawat ng ating bansa at ating mga mamamayan.
Bilang ako po ang gumanap ng inyong buhay sa 10,000 hours, pinagmamalaki ko po na dito ko po nakita sa AFP na sila po ay pwedeng pagkatiwalaan. Ito pong nangyayari ngayon sa flood control, naniniwala po ba kayo na kaya pang baguhin ang DPWH?
Kaya po. Especially na na-appoint si Secretary Vince Dizon. I think you will agree with me na isa siyang action man at talagang pwedeng pagkatiwalaan sa isang maselan na posisyon bilang Secretary ng DPWH.
Opo. Marami pong mga kababayan natin ang ito po talagang majority ay galit na galit po sa nangyayari na baha, sa mga dilubyo po nila na nararanasan. Sa tingin po ba ninyo ay may tiwala pa sila sa DPWH?
Sana po manumbalik ang kanilang pagtitiwala sa DPWH. Anyway, iba na po yung liderato at hindi ko naman po hinuhusgahan yung dating sekretaryo o dating kalihim na Secretary Bonoan. Pero ang sinasabi ko lang, dahil hindi ko naman siya kilala at kilala ko si Secretary Vince Dizon, malaki pong aking pag-asa na manunumbalik ang pagtitiwala ng ating mga mamamayan sa DPWH.
Opo. Ito naman pong akin po ay isang suggestion lang po ito. Kayo din po ang makakapagbigay liwanag sa amin bilang ito po ay out of the box po ito, aking mungkahi. Noong pong panahon ni Pangulong Arroyo, nagtatag po siya ng National Development Support Command. Ito po yung NADESCOM sa AFP. Ang NADESCOM po ang development arm ng AFP upang labanan ang insurgency sa mga kanayunan. Sila po ay nakikipag-partner sa mga private donors at local development units upang magsagawa ng iba't ibang development projects tulad ng mga school buildings, farm-to-market roads, health centers, rural electrification, bridge, pathwalk, water system, multipurpose buildings at rain collectors. Ngunit sila po ay binuwag noong 2012. Tinataya po na 1,800 development projects po ang natapos nila mula noong sila po ay maitatag. Ang akin pong mungkahi, dahil ngayon po ay marami po ang pinagre-resign ng ating mahal na Pangulo, bilang hindi naman po pwede na itigil ang mga flood control projects, hindi po ba pwede na ito munang NADESCOM ang magtuloy ng mga flood control projects na mga nasira o mga na-ghost? Sa palagay po ba ninyo, pwede natin silang pagkatiwalaan?
Totoo po yun. At pwede natin imungkahi sa Pangulo ng Pilipinas na mag-issue uli ng executive order para mabuo uli yung sinasabi niyong NADESCOM. In fact, meron tayong engineering brigade. No? Capable naman po sila na magsagawa ng mga development projects, infrastructure projects, school buildings, even roads. Ano? Kaya nila yan. So maganda po yung inyong mungkahi at sana makarating ito sa palasyo at magawa ng karampatang aksyon. Tama-tama, meron tayong ongoing na budget deliberation. Baka pwede nating, kung magkakaroon ng basihan sa pamamagitan ng isang executive fiat, pwede tayong sigurong mag-realign ng budgets papunta sa DND or AFP nang sa ganon maponduhan yung inyong minumungkahi na pagbuo muli o pag-revive ng NADESCOM.
Yun lang po, mahal naming tagapangulo, sapagkat sa aking pong paniwala, matagal po ito sigurong adjustment natin dahil marami nga pong pinagre-resign, baka maantala po yung mga proyekto na flood control. Mainam po sana ipagkatiwala muna po natin sa AFP dahil sila po ang pinagkakatiwalaan ng ating taong bayan. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat po. Alam nyo, yung mga out of the box, minsan mas pakinabang pa kaysa sa yung mga common o yung regular na mga proposals. Maraming salamat po sa ginoong distinguished gentleman from Nueva Ecija.
Salamat po.
Yes, I believe Senator Gatchalian is next. Senator Gatchalian is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, will the distinguished gentleman from Cavite receive a few questions, Mr. President?
Certainly to my honorable chairman of the Committee on Finance.
Thank you, Senator Lacson. When you were giving your privilege speech 2 weeks ago, you showed a contractor there by the name of Darcy and Anna. And I took note of that name because you also mentioned that contractor, I think it was a sole proprietor, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. Sole proprietorship.
Sole proprietorship. And that struck me because when we were looking at the top 15 contractors that were mentioned by the President, we were surprised to learn that 4 of them are also sole proprietor. This is QM Builders. The other one is Wawa Builders. I think you also mentioned Wawa Builders in your privilege speech. MG Samidian, and then Road Edge. Just to give the body information, QM Builders has a contract from 2022 to 2025 of 7.3 billion pesos.
Sole proprietorship.
Sole proprietorship. Ang Wawaw Builders, 4.2 billion pesos. MG Samian is 5 billion. And Road Edge, about 4.5 billion pesos. Typically, sa pagkaalam ko, Mr. Chairman, ang sole proprietor typically are created by entrepreneurs managing their very small business. Typically, mga grocery or hardware or bakery. But first time ko nakakita na isang sole proprietor, 7.3 billion pesos ang kontrata in a span of 3 years. So that's about 2 to 3 billion every year. May I know from the good gentleman if he has also saw this unusual, it's not illegal, just to put it on record, but it's unusual. No? And may I pick the brains of the good gentleman on why this unusual practice is present in this type of government projects?
Hindi na rin po nakapagtaka kasi sa loob mismo ng PCAB, yung Contractor Accreditation Board, may dalawang contractor na simultaneously or overlapping while serving as director of PCAB, they still own their respective construction firms. Yung isa yung AS Escalante, AN Escalante, or anyway, Escalante Construction Corporation. Yung isa EGB, Ernie G. Baggao. And then when I called the attention of the board, di ba nag-deny agad sila ng possible shenanigans inside the board. So I dug deeper and I found out that two of their directors, ganun nga, one was appointed in September of 2023 and at the same time, meron silang pinirmahang kontrata with DPWH. Ang katwiran po nung isa, particularly si Director Escalante, ang sinasabi raw doon sa RA 4566, the law that created PCAB, isang requirement, isang qualification, kailangan contractor ka. And I don't dispute that. Parang this is akin to the qualification to be a judge, dapat lawyer ka. Pero sinasabi naman sa kabilang batas, because yung RA 4566 was passed in 1965. Yung RA 6713 was passed in 1989. So libre siya sa 4566 pero hindi siya liligtas sa 6713, yung Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards. Because maliwanag doon, kapag ikaw contractor o maski anong linya ng iyong hanapbuhay business at ikaw pumasok sa isang agency ng government, lalo na kung regulatory body ito like the PCAB, within 30 days, kailangan mag-divest ka. Hindi naman sinasabing bawal yung contractor na pumasok, pero by God, kailangan mag-divest ka, yun ang sinasabi ng batas. But one of the board directors, yun ang kanyang defense. Sabi niya, requirement niya, contractor But he did not divest. Kasi nga, maliwanag sa record, and I think if cases are filed against them for violating RA 6713, open in that case because we'll just refer to the records and there you go. Yun na yung ebidensya na talagang they violated the law, particularly RA 6713. So, hindi na rin po ako nagtataka na makakuha ng kontrata na ganyang kalalaki maski single proprietorship. By the way, I also mentioned in my privilege speech na yung Darcy and Anna, nung pinuntahan po namin yung registered, kasi Google lang naman makita mo yung address, nung pinuntahan, wala na po, ang nakalagay doon,
parang gym yata.
Yeah, e-payment store, at saka gym. Nawala na yung karatula na sila construction firm. So, medyo multo na yung proyekto, multo pa rin yung nag-undertake ng project. So ganun kasama yung situation.
Correct. Mr. Chairman, nasa slide ito po yung mga top 15 contractors named by the President and 4 of them are sole proprietors. Just for me kasi this is the first time that I've seen a sole proprietor handling multi-billion contracts, especially from the government. And alam natin ang sole proprietors unlimited liability. Meaning if something goes wrong, pati bahay mo pwedeng kunin. Savings account mo pwedeng
unlike
kunin.
A corporation.
Unlike in corporation, you have some protection. So it's really a I would say a unusual practice that a sole proprietor will engage in a multi-billion contract. But on the other side, risk rin to sa gobyerno because kung may nangyari, hahabulin mo siya at wala naman siyang asset, problema rin tayo because it's a sole proprietor, no? But it's just ano lang, this is something that I feel is a red flag in terms of this practice. I think itong ganitong practice is dapat tignan mabuti ng PCAB and also ng DPWH because sole proprietors are not meant to handle multi-billion contracts. Ang theory ko, good gentleman from Cavite, is dahil pag sole proprietor, isa lang kausap mo eh. Yung may-ari lang eh. So, ibig sabihin, kung meron kayong mga arrangement, meron kayong bigayan, meron kayong sharing dun sa income, isa lang kausap mo. Unlike a corporation, you have to declare dividends, you have to pass a board resolution, you have to talk to all the directors. But as sole proprietor, you only have to talk to one person, which is the owner of that corporation. So, in this case, mabilis kausap dahil isa lang. The other theory that I have is paka-front lang to sa mga district engineers or regional directors. Because kanina, I heard during the hearing of the Blue Ribbon, tinatanong nila yung Wawaw Builders kung ano yung mga proyekto. Wawaw is a sole proprietor. No? Tinatanong nila yung mga proyekto, hindi niya masagot. No? Baka nga, hindi niya masagot dahil hindi naman siya talaga ang gumagawa ng project na yon. No? Ibang tao ang gumagawa ng project.
Which brings to light, Mr. President, na yung lisensya, hinihiram ng district engineer at sila yung nag-i-implement. We have this case, we talked to one of the contractors whose license was borrowed. Ang problema niya, nakita niya na pala na hindi pala ginawa yung project na kung saan ginawa yung hiniram na lisensya niya. So, worried na worried siya na siya yung puputokan kasi siya yung nakapirma. And that's an ongoing problem insofar as that particular contractor is concerned. I don't know how he will be able to resolve it, but wala na yung kanya mga kausap, na suspend na. Ito yung sina Bryce Hernandez, Alcantara, saka yung another one. No? So, we also have information na they even, I'm referring to Bryce Hernandez and company, they even resorted to forging the signatures of the inspection team. So, wala nangyaring inspection, pero may mga pirma, so, nabayaran. So, ganong kasama na, Mr. President, at ganong kagahama na. Kasi sa halip na substandard, hindi na talaga ginawa para yung buong budget para sa project, nilaro na sa casino.
Yun talaga ho, yun talagang karumadumal na ho ang tawag ho natin dyan dahil ni isang hollow block o isang buhangin, wala hong tinambak ho doon sa flood control.
And the President himself, he saw for himself that kind of an activity. Sabi niya, nakita niya, ghost project. Wala siya nakita pala, pero alam niyang ghost project kasi dapat based on the website ng DPWH, meron talagang dapat na napondohan at nabayaran doon sa lugar na pinuntahan niya na wala naman siya nakita.
I think my point of the matter, Mr. President, good gentleman from Cavite, is for me, again, personally, these are red flags, although not legal, but red flags. And from my experience in the private sector and also in the government sector, this type of sole proprietor bidding for multi-billion projects are not best business practices. Normally, businessmen will not risk their house and their savings account to go into business. Normally, they would want to have certain level of protection so that they will not put their own personal asset at risk. And these are just red flags that the Blue Ribbon Committee should look at. Although, honestly, we're still doing a lot more analysis on this. But I just want to bring this out to the good gentleman since he also brought out a contractor who is also a sole proprietor.
And thank you for bringing this out, Mr. President, gentleman, the honorable gentleman from Valenzuela. This has brought to life kung ano talagang extent ng mga anomalya. Ang unang, ang entry point nito talaga PCAB eh.
Yes.
In the first place, why would PCAB issue an accreditation?
Correct.
And then, how would PCAB renew their licenses? Kasi every year, they have to renew their license eh. So, nandun yung unang anomalya. Pangalawa na lang yung sa DPWH.
Correct.
So, we really have a big problem, Mr. President.
At sabi niyo kanina itong si Escalante and the other director, I was just comparing this with ERC, who's a regulator. Requirement rin doon, experience in energy. So kukuha ka from someone from the energy sector, pero hindi ibig sabihin that that commissioner can do business with government.
No, Mr. President.
So it's really it's a plain and simple conflict of interest.
Sabi ko nga, Mr. President, yung katwiran ni board member or board director Escalante, parang kahalintulad ng yung huwes bago ma-appoint, kailangan abogado. Pero hindi ibig sabihin na pwede siya mag-practice pa rin maski huwes na siya. Pwede pa rin siya mayroong law firm na huwis pa siya. Kailan mag-divest siya or tumigil siya ng pagpa-practice ng law.
Correct.
Ganun po yung analogy eh. Kung susundan natin yung pangangatwiran ni Director Escalante, yun. Sabi niya, ang requirement daw, contractor eh.
Yeah.
Ang requirement pagiging huwes, abogado eh.
At the very least, Your Honor, is out of delicadeza, wag ka na magnegosyo with government. You can do private contracting, let's say sa mga private developers or other developers, at the very least out of delicadeza.
Basta wala lang conflict of interest, Mr. President.
I think batin delicadeza ho is
mas importante.
Pero hindi
kung konting tao may delikadesa, Mr. President.
Sa corruption ho walang delikadeza.
Lalo na, Mr. President.
Sa corruption ho, garapalan ho ang pinapairal ho doon. Thank you to the gentleman from Cavite. Thank you for enlightening us with what's happening in government, and I fully support his advocacy and crusade to weed out the DPWH of these corrupt syndicates. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much for your intervention, Your Honor.
Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, if I may just interject also, Mr. President, with regard to the issue on PICAB issuing licenses and renewing licenses, Mr. President. If I may ask the good gentleman from Cavite who diligently worked hard and did a lot of research on this particular matter. In today's hearing, Mr. President, Your Honor, this representation asked the board members, the chairman himself, Dr. Pericles Dakay, whether or not the 3 members of the board of PICAB actually are not only contractors or officers or owners of companies. I asked, Mr. President, if they have government contracts with DPWH and LGUs. And the chairman answered and said, yes, in the affirmative. And he even mentioned, Mr. President, that even the 2 board members, namely Engineer Bagao and Engineer Escalante, ay pareho daw po nag-sign ng kontrata.
That is correct. We have the records, Mr. President. Nag-overlap to sa kanilang position or appointment as board directors. At the same time, nagpirma sila ng contract with DPWH. Meron kaming slide dyan.
Yes, Mr. President, in fact, I was surprised because walang kibit-balikat. Right away, answered the question. Yes, we are contractors. We are involved with government contracts. Nagulat po ako, Ginoong Pangulo, sapagkat you were mentioning a while ago yung ethical standards for public officials, which is very clear. In fact, I even asked whether or not there's something wrong about it. And it appears na parang hindi sila aware that something wrong about it. For example, Mr. President, si Dr. Dakay is associated with Dakay Construction and Development Corp. May mga proyekto po siya, national and various local government units, public facilities like government buildings and schools. Si Engineer Bagao ay associated with EGB Construction Corporation. Dinescribe po siya as one of the top contractors for flood control projects, securing projects worth over 7.7 billion, Mr. President. And if I'm not mistaken, Your Honor, Senator Lacson made mention about this particular person, Engineer Bagao, that signed government contracts while simultaneously
July 25, 2024.
So he is
He was appointed September 2023.
So he's indeed a board member when he signed those contracts, Your Honor.
That is correct, Mr. President.
And then this Engineer Escalante is associated with A.N. Escalante Construction. And allegedly, again, he signed a contract with DPWH on behalf of his company in May 2022, again, while already a PICAB board director. Mr. President, let me fast forward. What can we do about this, Mr. President? Should DTI do something about this? Of course, in the course of our investigation here in the Senate, the committee will recommend the filing of charges against this board members.
Even without the Senate recommendation, DTI or SIAP or SIAP should file charges kasi SIAP implementing board ng SIAP yung PICAB
Yes.
Yung Construction Industry Authority of the Philippines, which is under DTI. Even without a recommendation, sabi ko, this is an open and shut case. No? And they cannot feign ignorance because basic naman yan, ignorance of the law excuses no one.
Exactly. Thank you, Mr. President. I think it's crystal clear that there's conflict of interest. In fact, I will go further sana, Mr. President, kasi yung EGB, for example, na related doon kay Engineer Bagao, may dalawang different pickup ratings. Hindi ko alam kung pwede ho yun. Dalawa yung pickup ratings niya. And I don't know why this is ongoing. In fact, Mr. President, I even asked further as to whether or not they are looking into the possibility of lending or renting their licenses. I remember si Senator Risa also raised that, and they themselves agree na it's ongoing. Si Secretary Bonoan, dating Secretary Bonoan, also made admitted, Mr. President, that it's happening. And yung pick-up din, sinasabi na it's happening. So sabi ko, ano yung ginagawa po ninyo tungkol dito? And they themselves are aware na, for example, in the case of the Diskaya group of companies na nakakuha po ng 31 billion pesos for the past 3 years, 2022 to 2025, na mga proyekto, nawawala na po yung ibang kumpanya, magtatayo lang po silang ibang kumpanya, and papayagan din po nila, Mr. President.
So, nakakaalaman kasi, Mr. President, sabi ko nga during the interpellation of the minority leader, Senator Soto, di ba accreditation for sale na tinatanggi nila, sa halip na tingnan nila, outright, denial kaagad. Kaya nga nakakapikon, Mr. President. And that drove me to dig more deeply into some shenanigans inside the pickup. So yun ang natuklasan namin. Ayan, no? Kasi nag-ingat pa nga kami. Sabi ko, tingnan nyo mabuti, baka kapangalan. Although hindi naman pangkaraniwan yung Ernie G. Baggao. Sabi ko, compare nyo yung signatures. Parehong-pareho. So, walang duda. And ito yung kay Escalante, ganun din. No, while serving as a director, nagpipirma naman ng kontrata with DPWH.
Sir President, perhaps that explains everything. Diyan po nagsimula. We're not saying na sila lang yung may sala at dapat talagang pagtuunan ng pansin ito. Last but not the least, Mr. President, because everything we're doing here is in aid of legislation, may we know from the good gentleman from Cavite on how we can address the problem of license renting. Kasi yung subcontracting loophole, for example, the principal contractor with a valid pickup license, legally may subcontract yung portions of the work to another party. Now, in practice, some firms will act only as fronts, allowing less qualified or unlicensed groups to actually perform yung pong proyekto. No? And this makes accountability murky because technically, the licensed contractor remains compliant even if the licensed contractor has little role in execution. Now, you have the joint venture loophole din kasi a small unqualified contractor, for instance, can enter a JV, a joint venture with a duly licensed contractor. So on paper, may joint venture na meet yung licensing requirement, pero in reality, the unqualified party may be the one in control. So what do you suggest, Mr. President, as to how we can initiate reform and address this issue?
Well, I don't know, and I'm not sure if there are laws that would penalize lending and borrowing licenses. Ano? Kung wala, I think it is a good piece of legislation that we should pursue.
They all agree a while ago, Mr. President, that it's prohibited. And
well, I'm not sure if there are laws that cover it, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Kaya mas maganda kung wala, pag-aralan natin, at kung wala pang batas, isama natin sa legislation siguro na heavy fines and even imprisonment for lending and borrowing.
Perhaps lifetime ban?
I don't know, Mr. President. We have to discuss that.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. President. That'd be all. And the gentleman from Bukidnon is also seeking the floor, Senator Mig Zubiri. May I move that he be recognized, Mr. President?
Senator Juan Miguel Zubiri is recognized.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, once again, I laud our colleague from the minority bringing this topic up. It's very timely. The fact that there's still 3 more years in the president's term, and he really truly wants to be able to come up with a legacy. And this is one of the legacies that he could come out with if he'd be able to dismantle the syndicates that are within the DPWH. But it just boggles the mind, Mr. President, and I'd like to ask my colleagues, it boggles the mind why or how ghost projects can even be done, knowing the fact that if the procedure is at the end of the project, usually may turnover po yun, di ba po, Mr. President, may turnover po yan sa barangay. So the barangay chairman has to sign. Kasi yung mga barangay chairman ko dun sa Bukidnon, pag hindi kompleto yung project, hindi nila pinipirmahan. So hindi po siya completed, Mr. President. So is that correct to say? Is that a correct assumption that it has to go through several checks before the actual project can be called completed, Your Honor, Mr. President?
Yes, merong inspection team, Mr. President. Kailangan may mag-sign off. No? And these are not just 1 or 2 persons. Ano? Several officials. I think 5 ang pipirma. Accountants, yung sabi nga ni Minority Leader Tito Soto, district engineer, pwede yung assistant district engineer, may accountant, head ng inspection team. Pagka may collusion, lahat pipirma yon. Sabi ko nga, meron pang experience na at least 5 projects in Bulacan, forged yung signature ng inspection team. So that's another offense, Mr. President. Para makubra yung bayad, nag-forge na ng signatures.
So they're claiming that it was forged, or was it a
according to our
falsification
information, and we're trying to get the documents, Mr. President.
Well, usually that's what they say pag nahuli sila, forged yung signature nila. Pero baka naman totoong
Meron
napirma.
tayo mga specimen signature experts, Mr. President. Hindi sila lulusot. Pag sinabi lang pinorge ang signature, pero totoo nilang signature, how could they escape that, Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. President. So there are several, as I said, as you also mentioned, there are several laws that have been possibly violated. Of course, the Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, pati yung falsification of public documents, if indeed that they forge the documents, and also possibly estafa, Mr. President, because yung criminal, kasi I consider it already with criminal intent. If they're going to come up with a ghost project and then they fool everyone else utilizing government funds, wouldn't that be considered estafa as well?
Yes, Mr. President. I was informed by a retired Supreme Court Chief Justice, na mayroong jurisprudence. Sabi niya, ang advice niya, wag na kayo mag-file ng plunder kasi abutin kayo ng siyam-siyam, 10 taon at least, bago ma-prove. There's an existing or parang leading case na kung saan 8.8 million lang yung threshold. Hindi ko pa pinapaaral ko sa staff ko kung ano yung mga predicate crimes, that would constitute a penalty of reclusion perpetua, meaning capital offense, capital punishment, no bail. So instead of filing plunder or violation of RA 7080, we're now conducting research on that particular information that I got from a retired Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
Thank you, Mr. President. Our colleague is right, because syndicated estafa is, and there are lawyers in front of me here, syndicated estafa is a non-bailable offense because it was done by persons of authority. And if these were done by people of the DPWH, they were persons of authority, knowing fully well that they were doing criminal intent, there was criminal activity. So kaya talagang piko ng taong bayan dahil hindi lamang ninakaw yung pera, kundi wala pang project. Iba po yung nagawa yung project at nagkuha ng kickback. Ito talagang wala, zero. Kaya doon kanina sa hearing, kay Wawaw Builders, nagulat po ako na wala talaga siyang masabi. Hindi nga niya alam kung ilan po yung proyekto niya. Hindi niya alam kung nasaan yung proyekto niya. Baka front lang po yan. Would the gentleman agree that it's possible that he could have been a front for either someone from the DPWH or a very powerful politician?
One of the ghost projects that I pointed out in my privilege speech, gawa ng Wawaw Builders.
Correct.
Ginawa, pero hindi ginawa. The following year, iba na yung contractor. Tapos iniba yung description. Sa halip na slope protection or whatever description it was, dinagdagan pa ng pumping station. But my team was able to locate the exact project where the original project was supposed to have been constructed. Pareho ng grid coordinates na nakuha from the Sumbong sa Pangulo website as well as sa DPWH website. So hindi pwede magkamali, Mr. President. So pinatungan ng ibang proyekto para pagtakpan yung ghost project. So hanggang ngayon, nandun pa yung equipment noong para sa pumping station. Ayan, yan yun na, Mr. President. Yun yung nakita. Yun yung hindi makita na nakita.
At alam mo, Mr. President, I'd also like to ask our distinguished colleague, paano naman po yung mga substandard projects? Lagyan naman natin liability ng contractor sa substandard projects. Kaninang umaga po, kahapon yata, nahulog yung bubong dun sa Albay, sa probinsya ng Napaka-notorious ng probinsya ng aking nanay. Sa Albay, kaninang umaga, nahulog yung covered court sa ulo ng mga estudyante dahil sa bigat daw ng ulan because they used trapal and siyempre napondohan yung ng tubig ang trapal at nahulog. It's all over social media. It was in the news today. And the cost of that project was park development, 98 million pesos. Obviously, ang ginamit siguro nila mga tubong mga maninipis at kaya nung umulan na malakas ay nahulugan po yung mga batang nag-training yata na for a school affair. They were practicing their dance moves there. And going to that, can we not charge the substandard contracts and contractors with estafa as well? Kasi
I think we can, Mr.
yes,
President.
O kasi ano po, Mr. President, obviously they say this is the standard, pero yung kabilya imbis na ganito kakapal kasing kapal ng sigarilyo and all that, yung nangyari po, Mr. President, na dun sa amin din sa bayan ng nanay ko na pag guho po ng flood control dam ay puro coco lumber lang po yung sa loob, tsaka bato and semento na parang hinaplas lang dun sa taas. That alone, being substandard, Mr. President, I'd like to ask my distinguished colleague, would that be considered, first of all, substandard?
Well, if it's substandard, then it's substandard, Mr. President.
So may standard po sila, di ba? How to build in per square
That
inch.
is correct, Mr. President.
So,
No, Mr. President, I do not wish to mention the name of God in vain, ano? Pero ito nangyayari ngayon, parang siguro nagalit na yung God, nagsunod-sunod si Crising, si Dante, si Emong, para lumabas itong lahat ng issue na ito. Imagine.
Siya pang nagano.
Parang yung intervention ng nature naging kasangkapan para mailabas yung yung grid, ano?
Yes.
Yung bagyo ng grid ng ilang mga opisyalis ng government.
Yes, I agree with you. Mr. President, God works in mysterious ways. And I think that was God's way of saying, of course, like you said, we don't want to use God's name in vain. Pero that's God's way of saying na, uy, bulaga, tignan nyo to. Itong pangyayari dito, makita niyo na substandard itong mga projects na ito. So I have so many other topics to discuss with the good gentleman, Mr. President, but I just want to, first of all, thank once again the good gentleman, but also I am with him in seeking the source of the funding. So I think if we do not find out the source of the funding, kung sino talaga ang pumondo nito, hindi po gagalaw itong mga opisyalis, I think, Mr. President, kung wala mga source of funding yan or the initiators of the fund. Until and when these names will come out, like for example, here in the Senate, Mr. President, that the good Chairman Sherwin, break out the list. We'll
May
defend
usapan
the
na
list.
po kami.
May usapan na po kayo.
Tanungin po lang natin kung bakit umusbong sa isang ahensya, willing siya i-divulge kung sino yung nag-amend yung proponent. At tumatanggol po yung ating chairman. So,
and sinabi ko dito
madali
sa
na
kanya,
makilala. Pero this is just half of Congress, ano?
Half
This
of
is just the upper
Congress.
house.
Yes.
So I just hope yung lower house will follow suit.
Follow suit. But we lead by example, Mr. President. And I thank the good gentleman for proposing that. As a matter of fact, nag-usap din po kami kanina ni Senator Sherwin. Kung may mga amendments po ako na mismo, sabi ko sa kanya, hindi ko mabanggit yung ibang mga kasamahan ko. Pero if I have an amendment, for example, in my province for the completion of my airport, then I will stand up here. I'm willing to stand up, get the RDC approval, get the local government approval, get the approval of the agency, and defend it here. That's how it should be, Mr. President.
And to go further, Mr. President, ikaw na rin daw maghanap kung saan babawasin.
Opo. With the help of the chairman, Mr. President. Pero yun ang mahalaga. Dapat sabi ko nga.
Sabi sa akin yung ating chairman, wag naman dagdag ng dagdag. Tulungan niyo naman kung maghanap kung saan tutunin. Otherwise, siya yung puputukan, sa kanya magagalit yung mga agencies na binawasan niya.
Kaya nga Mr. President, sabi ko, sino yung tumutulak at tumujuk dito sa in amendments, which you call institutional amendments, siya na rin ang tumayo at depensahan.
Hindi lang depensahan, maghanap siya ng kung saan kukunin, Mr. President.
Tama po yan, Mr. President. Pero at least, hindi po bogbog ang ating chairman. And that's how it should be. Sabi ko nga, we should be able to defend in Luneta the amendments. For example, if my barangay needs a hanging bridge because alam mo, bundok po kami, I will defend it here. And I will seek the floor and I will be open to interpellation. And I think that is the proper way, Mr. President. So
that's very commendable, Mr. President.
Thank you. So I already mentioned to the good senator, whatever amendments that I'll be making, I'll be presenting to the body in future date.
So may amendment na po kayo sa 2026 para sa Bukidnon?
Marami po, Mr. President. Di naman. Pero walang flood control. These are all, for example, classroom buildings. We have barangays that have no classroom, high schools, Your Honor. So baka yun mga i-propose ko po.
Well, I remember this happened to us, Mr. President. When I was still here, di ba sabi nyo, pwede ba ito, Senping, dahil ito may RDC approval naman ito. And I said, I have no problem with that because yan nga kailangan yung nanggagaling sa RDC because during the Finance Committee DBCC hearing kanina, napansin ko na naman yung Local Development Council na inadapt sa NEP, 19.9%. Balik na naman tayo doon sa parang nababaliwala yung local development plans, ano?
Yes.
Na dapat nandun yung bulk, at least man lang, increase natin sa 30-40%.
Yes.
Kasi di ba pinaghihirapan nila magbuo ng local development plan.
Bakit pa?
Yes, pagdating sa, and we took this up with the DBM team na nakausap namin.
Opo.
Bakit salisi yung submission ng mga regional development councils? Nagsasabit sila mga bandang October.
Yes.
Tapos na yung budget call. Yung budget call daw nag-i-start as early as January.
Yes.
Sabi ko baka pwede i-catch up natin yung kanilang Regional Development Council plans
Yes.
from all over the country. Tapusin nila ng say end of December. I-submit nila para pasok sa budget call, mapag-aralan. Hindi yung parang the Imperial Manila as they call it, yung mga taga-probinsya. Magsasabit yung pero late na. Wala na silang pagsasabitan. Tapos na yung budget call, may NEP na eh.
Yes. Yeah.
After the SONA, within 30 days, nandiyan na yung National Expenditure Program. Saan pa na magagamit yung kanilang regional development plans or local development plans?
Yes.
So, and they're trying to catch up daw to synchronize yung output ng mga regional development council plans na sinabit doon sa budget call.
Actually, Mr. President, the members of the House of Representatives, I don't know if I should be saying this, but I know many of them already submitted their projects to the NEP.
Yun nga na-discover ng ating chairman, Mr. President.
Yes. Opo.
Iba-ibang barangay, pare-pareho na naman yung appropriations. Sabi ko, malamang yan.
LIT.
Malamang yan. Hindi, yung dati yun, yung BLIP, various local infrastructure projects. Ngayon, naging BIP. Various infrastructure. Na iba yung nomenclature, pero same banana. Iba, same dog, iba lang yung collar. So, yun. And, sabi ko nga, I was tempted to propose or even move. Kanina sana sa DBCC meeting, adapt na lang natin yung NEP, pero hindi pala po pwede dahil na-discover nga ni Chairman Gatchalian.
Inunahan na tayo, inunahan.
Oo, yun ang tawag ko sa aking privilege speech na distinct. Pag distinct, yun ang code na akin yan. Kung sino yung nagsingit doon, kanya yon, huwag niyong pakialaman yan. Kasi pag ganyan yung amount, 77,000 something, or kung ano yung na-discover ni Chairman Gatchalian, code yun kung sino yung nagsingit doon. And as pointed out by Senator Villanueva, the distinguished majority leader, di ba tinanong niya, posible bang sa NEP pa lang nakasingit na? And I answered in the affirmative kasi nangyayari talaga. So National Expenditure Program pa lang, naka-insert na. Pagdating sa House, mag-i-insert ulit.
Totoo po yun.
Quadruple whammy. Kasi pagdating sa Senate, mag-i-insert ulit. Di pangatlo na.
Opo.
Pagdating sa BICAM, mag-i-insert ulit. Quadruple whammy.
Pang-apat na whammy. At kaya nga po, Mr. President, I am all for the reforms in the budget process and fully support it, particularly sa RDC, Mr. President. Actually, 2 months ago, last June, ako ay nag-present sa RDC din sa mga projects that are needed for the region 10, kasi that's my region, Mr. President. So, I'm doing what the good gentleman is asking, that dapat may RDC request talaga. And kung kaya naman lalo na wala kang kalaban ng mga RDC chairman, no problem. So, I know many of us kasi have advocacy.
Sa RDC, Mr. Chairman, nandun yung mga governors, nandun yung NEDA, nandun yung TBM.
Correct.
Yung kanilang mga regional officers, di ba?
Correct, Mr. President.
So, ano na yun comprehensive na yun Nandun, represented na silang lahat. And I'm glad that the President issued Executive Order number 82.
Yes.
Ito yung nag-strengthen sa role ng mga RDCs. Yes. Kanina, that was supposed to be my third topic yung sa local development or regional development councils.
Yes.
Kung na-implement na ito, because this was issued several months ago, how effective yung implementation ng Executive Order 82?
Yes.
Has it really strengthened or enhanced the role of the regional development councils para mag-apply na sa 2026 budget? Apparently, parang hindi rin kasi bakit nga may pagkakapareho na naman ng mga items? May I ask the chairman of the Finance Committee how many items he was able to identify? More or less, parang ano lang, ballpark.
Actually, Mr. Chairman, I was texting my staff na to send me the PDF copy of that DPWH NEP for 2026. Because last week we engaged this third-party association to ng mga project managers, because there are 4,000 flood control projects in the 2026 NEP alone. And nakasulat kasi lang doon, flood control wall. Tapos mayroong barangay, tapos may municipality, may province, pero hindi mo alam kung saan. So
walang stationing. So we had to engage engineers to help us with the technical side. Pero while reviewing it, nakita namin mayroong mga 10 million, same barangay, same municipality, package 1, package 2, package 3, package 4. Tapos may mga the same amount. Actually, I told my staff to screenshot it para mapakita ko lang. But maraming kaming na-notice na ganun while reviewing it. Thank you, Mr. President.
So thank you, Mr. President. Mabuhay po si Senator Lacson, and I'm happy that this discussion is taking place. The reforms are being done, and we thank the President of the Republic of the Philippines for putting this front and center. And sana po hindi maging ninas ko ito at tuloy-tuloy na po ang reforma. Ay nakita naman po natin nangyayari sa Indonesia po na yun. Sinusunog yung mga bahay ng parliamentarians dahil binigyan ng allowance na $3,000 worth a month for housing. Ay nagalit yung tao doon that then Indonesia is burning through the riots. And I hope it doesn't reach, that effect would reach here in the Philippines unless we do it right. If we don't do it right, Mr. President, I'm worried that the same thing will happen to us here. So, maraming salamat, Mr. President.
To give credit where credit is due, Mr. President, I would like to echo the magic words of the President, mahiya naman kayo. That triggered everything, Mr. President, actually.
Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President, the Deputy Minority Leader is also seeking the floor. I move that she be recognized. Senator Risa Ontiveros.
Our Deputy Minority Leader, Senator Ontiveros, is recognized.
Salamat po, Mr. President. Just a point of information dun sa malamang exchange ng dalawang colleagues ko sa minority tungkol sa papel at papel dapat, timbang ng papel dapat ng say ng mga regional development councils dun sa budget making process. Paalala lang po sa ating lahat, Mr. President, na nung ipinasa po natin, hindi lamang yung executive order ang masasandigan natin, pero may effort po tayo nung ipinasa natin yung batas tungkol sa DepDev, yung pag-upgrade mula sa NEDA, mula authority hanggang sa full department. Dahil meron pong, chinecheck ko lang po kung nag-survive nga sa BICAM, meron pong sinubukang ipasok na amendment by this representation. Pinanukala ko po, Mr. President. And salamat muli sa colleague ko ngayon sa minority. Tinanggap po noon ni Chair Sponsor Mig Zubiri yung amendment na yung Executive Secretary together with the DepDev Secretary would be annually convening the RDC chairs, mostly governors gaya ng sinabi ng good gentleman from Cavite, and together they would endorse RDC projects to the DBM. So paalala lang po, Mr. President, kung institutionally, paano natin binibigyan ng halaga at timbang ang say ng mga RDCs sa budget making process. Salamat po, Mr. President.
Thank you for the point of information. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Ontiveros, Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, there being no other reservation for interpellation, I move that we refer the privileged speech of Senator Ping Lacson and all the interpellations and manifestations thereon to the Committee on Accountability of Public Officers and Investigations. So move, Mr. President.
Is there objection? There being none, motion is approved. So referred.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, we thank our colleague, Senator Lacson.
Gangster, you know, we do that better than anybody. I bet you got it twisted, you don't know who to trust. So many player hating niggas trying to sound like us. Say they ready for the front, but I don't think they know it. Straight to the depths of hell is where them cowards going. Well, all you still down, nigga, holler when you see me. And let these devils dissolve for the day they finally free me. I got a caravan of niggas every time we ride. Hitting motherfuckers up when we pass by. Until I die, live the life of a boss player. Cause even when I'm high,